What's going on, guys? Back, and today we've got a brand new video with Bitcoin and the fall going on right now. What is really causing this, and are there at least some short-term things that we could look at that might actually be a good thing for the market, and maybe Bitcoin's actually bottoming here instead of finding another leg lower? And it all starts with the Mt.Gox news, where we all know we heard that the 140,000 Bitcoin from Mt.Gox was to be released. There were people saying it was supposed to happen a few days ago. Obviously, that has come and gone, and there's been no release of this 140,000 Bitcoin. And people are freaking out that it's going to be dumped on the market, and the market can't handle it's going to dump the price. But that's just not really what's actually going to happen. Even from this, just the headline, you can see the Mt.Gox to set creditor repayment date in due course. So people thought it was coming in a few days ago. That came and went, and it wasn't actually coming. They said it's coming eventually. So at some point, this Bitcoin will be released, it seems, but when that is, no one really knows. And if we just look at this, the crypto or coin market cap, you can see Bitcoin, and you go to the daily volume, it's 1.4 million Bitcoin are traded every single day. So it would be just under 10% of an increase to the daily volume of Bitcoin for 140,000 Bitcoin to be added to the market. Why people think that that's something to be absolutely terrified of and it could collapse the price down and make it fall so hard, it makes not much sense. So you can see even right now, you see it's $19,000 for Bitcoin, and we have a red day, so down 1.2%. If we've traded 1.4 million Bitcoin worth in value today, and the market is down, that means it's slightly more selling than buying going on. So of the 1.4 million, it would be 700K buys, 700K sells would keep it basically at a trading sideways level. But we know it's more than that. So it's 700K, or it's 600K buys and 800K selling. And you see it moves the price down 1.2%. And that's a 200,000 Bitcoin difference. 200,000 Bitcoin being sold more than Bitcoin being bought, yet the price isn't collapsing. And you think 140,000 Bitcoin is going to just throw everything off course and crash it? I don't know why that's something that people are really scared about. Not to mention, some of those Bitcoin is going to be held. It's not all going to be sold. Some people might get it back and decide, I don't want to sell. It's from Mt.Gox. It's up drastically ridiculous amounts of percent. They could sell some. Maybe they sell a little bit, keep the rest, or maybe they just keep it all because they really are all in on Bitcoin and love what it means for the future. All 140,000 is not going to just flood on the market on a sell if that's what everyone's worried about. Some people are going to keep it. Some people are going to sell a little bit. Some people sell all of it, but the majority is not going to find its way to the market. A couple other things we're seeing on Bitcoin right now is the short-term holder realized price is about to cross the long-term holder realized price. And if we look back, you don't have real clear idea of what this really means, but you can see starting back here, because it did cross a bunch back here, but it's just kind of weird at the beginning of the chart. So we'll just skip that start here. It crossed down, which is what we have right now, looking like it's trying to cross down into the blue line. Cross down, the price ended up moving down a bit, trading sideways, and then it crosses back up to a parabolic move. We see it again here. It crosses down. The price is already kind of heading down, trading sideways, crosses back up on a way up, and the price has a nice move up, trading sideways. This was 2020, so flash crash and then parabolic move. So are we looking at maybe this could be a bottoming sign for Bitcoin, where this move down, these two short-term realized price crossing long-term realized price could mean that maybe it's bottoming out, maybe got a little bit lower to go, and it could definitely move lower, but then move sideways, and ultimately into the next halving, most likely having a massive move up in price and making a parabolic move and having the lines cross yet again on the way up. And all these moves with Bitcoin are not abnormal. They're not crazy. It's not ridiculous to see these kinds of percentage drops in Bitcoin. We can see a history of Bitcoin's corrections from down 56% in the super early days, 2012, when a Ponzi scheme ran off with 150,000 Bitcoin, another 82% drop in 2013, 86, almost 87% drop when China banned Bitcoin for who knows what time that was for China. And they banned Bitcoin exchanges. Mt.Gox suffered a hack, regulatory troubles, and eventual bankruptcy of these like Mt.Gox exchange. So this was an 87% collapse in 2016. People probably thought at that time it was going to be the end of the world and Bitcoin was coming to an end. China banned it. China banned Bitcoin altogether. Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox had their hack. 140,000 Bitcoin stolen. People lost it. Regulatory troubles. The SEC, which is still battling now, and then more bankruptcies like we saw going on this year. So you compare it to that, and I mean, China bans Bitcoin every other day, it seems now. So that doesn't really matter anymore. Mt. Gox, the hack, that people are about to get their Bitcoin back from that. We've had regulatory trouble, although I think it's not really anything bad anymore. It's kind of just the SEC not approving a spot Bitcoin ETF when they approve everything else. And bankruptcies, we've seen them go under. We've seen the crypto companies, Voyager, Celsius, go under and go bankrupt. So all of these similar to maybe this kind of collapse here in 2016, but nowhere near as ridiculously severe. It's the outlook of Bitcoin is not like it was in 2016 where we think maybe this could go to zero. Maybe this kills Bitcoin and it can't recover and there's no future for this. But you see, it continues to go on, continues to make new all-time highs, continue moving up. The next 80% plus drop was a hack of Japan's largest OTC exchange, and now we're kind of in that range. We're down like somewhere around like 70-80%. And for people thinking like Bitcoin's going to zero, it's dead, it's suffered everything, all of this from the past, Bitcoin has suffered. And every time in the past here, Bitcoin was new enough where the future of Bitcoin was like, who knows if this stuff could kill it. But we've seen everything attack Bitcoin and it doesn't die. It comes back and it reaches new all-time highs every single time. So why would it be the outlier this time that kills Bitcoin when the same things that are kind of happening now have already happened in the past and they didn't kill Bitcoin? So just something to kind of think about, because Bitcoin has always had the troubles. It's a newer technology. It is 10, 13 years old now. But even when it was newer, it went through these hiccups. People thought it was going to die, and ultimately, it didn't die. I just take a look at Bitcoin's yearly candles, because this is just up and to the right. Nothing looks crazy here. If you looked at this and you would want to be invested in this thing. And if we look at just the pattern too, maybe pattern playing out, is we have 4 here, but in the beginning, who knows this, but we had 4 to a red candle, then we have 3 red, 3 red. So maybe this year 2022 marks the bottom, bear market bottom for Bitcoin. We start to kind of trade sideways. It wouldn't shock me to trade sideways in this range of around $20,000 and just sideways for the rest of the year. 2023 comes around, maybe we have a bit of a move up and going into the next halving, and then the halving happens, and maybe we see another parabolic move for Bitcoin that yet again people are going to say is priced in, it's not going to happen, and Bitcoin's dead, and then Bitcoin will soar and to new all-time highs. Well, everyone who hates Bitcoin now will still hate it then, and will say that it's going to die and be nothing. So ultimately, people who are against Bitcoin and don't like it at all as an idea, even like Peter Schiff of the world, the perma bears on Bitcoin, they are always going to find a way and a reason to say Bitcoin's dead. You see Peter Schiff celebrating $20,000 Bitcoin, but in 2024, if Bitcoin halving goes off and Bitcoin goes parabolic, let's just make up numbers, goes to $300,000 and then falls to $100,000. People like Peter Schiff are going to look at it and see, I told you, it crashed. It's worthless. It's going to die. And we just remember, look back to this time when it was 20,000 and people were saying the same thing and people were against it and rooting for it to fail because it went from 69 to 20, and the exact same voices will come, the exact same people will talk. If it goes from 300, 400K down to 100, people say, see, I told you, it crashes. You should have never invested, even though it's 5x the amount of money it was right now. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. And there to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll see you guys in my next video.